After this morning's Super Pole race, it's all to play for. Niccolo Bulliger having a retirement issue, Top Rat Razgalioni taking a win. They're both at 4 wins apiece in 2025. What are we going to get? 29 points the gap in the standings. It's time for race 2. Let's head down to the grid then and join James Toseland with Niccolo Bulliger and Avio Bautista.
I am, but front row start again. How are you feeling for this one?
Well, I feel like normal, no? Just try to make a good start, try to enjoy the race, and that's all, no? I think what I need is just to try to be relaxed and to don't be impatient, no? And just this race is long because tires make a big importance. So let's try to manage the situation as best as possible.
Good luck, Avro.
Thank you.
Yeah, moving on. We've got a couple of minutes or just under, and I wanted to go one further forward onto row 1 here with Sam. Sam, first podium World Superbikes. Congratulations. Sorry for making you cry earlier. You can beat me up afterwards of this one, but I'm sure you've conducted yourself for this one. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. We've gone with the hard front again. So I saw, obviously, it wasn't in it, but saw the end of yesterday's race and saw the guys dropping a bit. So need to be smart in the beginning, like I was yesterday. Try and hang in there because it's a little bit less, not much less on performance, but a couple of attempts, and try to do, see if I can manage the drop. But no, aiming for a solid top 5 finish. Nice result to finish off a good weekend.
Good luck, Sam.
Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Lovely emotion, wasn't it, after the Superbikes? If you haven't watched it, watch it back. And I'm just going to move from second to first. Looks like Phil Marin and everybody's around the computer here. Kanan Sofawoglu is just saying a few final words. If I can creep. Are we done, Phil? You're good. Okay, nice one. Top Rack, brilliant result in the Super Pole race in those difficult conditions.
Yeah, it's a difficult condition. Also, yesterday we tried a 6 tire. The tire after 11 laps later, it's a big drop and I lose a lot. And I am lucky to finish the 4th position. Today I'm using AC0. This is the gamble, I don't know. I'm just trying to do some good way. AC0 and front AC2. We will try again. I hope we're fighting for the win. I hope we finish the on the podium.
Are you confident with that tire?
I don't know. We will see in the race. Because I don't have any chance. If I'm using X tire, I'm not possible to finish the race.
Top Rack, good luck, my friend. All the very best. Yeah, it's going to be a brilliant one, isn't it? We really can't predict it. Top Rack Razgatioglu here on the #1 BMW. He has got 2 Ducatis, and don't forget about Niccolo Bulliger coming through in 10th. This is going to be great. Greg, back to you.
It is going to be
certainly
great.
is. Thank you very much indeed, James. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome along to the Cathedral of Speed. It's Assen World Superbikes 2025. And a great crowd as ever watching on here at the Dutch venue. They've had some brilliant home success already in the different categories across the weekend as this world-famous venue celebrates its centenary 100 years of motorcycle racing in this part of the world, dating back to 1925. Look at that crowd. Toprak Razgatlioglu then on the pole position this time. He's won 4 races thus far in 2025, and so is Niccolo Bulliger. This is race number 9. Toprak is on the pole position. He's already confirmed to James Toseland down on the grid that he's using the SC0 tyre. That's the harder of the 2 available from Pirelli, the sole tyre supplier here in World Superbike, and will be also in MotoGP from 2027 onwards. We're on board with Toprak now. He was furious to finish off the podium here in race 1 on Saturday, but he's been given a lifeline in the form of an electrical problem on Bulliger's Ducati Panigale V4R in the Super Pole race earlier on today. That left him out of the race and therefore 10th on the grid as the fastest qualifier to have finished outside the top 9. Taron McKenzie will start 9th on the grid on the MIE Honda, and that man there, Scott Redding, 6th on the grid, directly ahead of Taz, row 3 and row 2. Redding, of course, on the Bonovo Ducati. Here's the Mark VDS Ducati of Sam Lowes. He took pole position in qualifying yesterday and is now 2nd on the grid after his first ever podium in the Super Pole race. Toprak, though, can the tyre last to the end? Can he keep the charging Ducatis behind him?
Here we go then, the start of the action. Should we take a look at how the grid lines up? Yeah, why not? Let's get it open for you on the screen now, hopefully if it wants to work. for you. Sorry we're having to do limited budget. We're down on production values up here in the booth. There we go. There's your starting grid then. Top right, Razgalioli was on pole position from Sam Lowe's in second and Javier Batista's in third. Then it's Andrea Locatelli, Van der Mark and Redding. Scroll down, Gardner, Montella, McKenzie. Then it's Bulliger, Bassini and Petrucci. Alex Lowe's, Iannone, Agata, Likanoa, Gerloff, Vierhe, Sofagulu, Rabat, Vickers, O'Halloran and Zahardi starting in 23rd position. Under starters orders then for what's going to be a very entertaining race. Fingers crossed it's going to be a good one. We can't wait to get started. Let's check in with James and Greg.
They get away on their final warm-up lap. This world-famous 4.5 kilometre, 2.8 mile layout in the north of the Netherlands. Xavi Vierge at the bottom of your screen. The number 97 Honda testing out the long lap penalty lane. He'll need to take a long lap penalty. There he is rejoining at the top of your screen in the first 5 laps of the upcoming race. For hitting Rabat in the Superpole race earlier on today. Michael van der Mark, can he make the podium, I wonder, for what would be the only time this weekend for number 60? He's had no less than 7 podiums here, but none, James, in his last 12 races. It's not been a great run for van der Mark on his home track. Can he make amends for that here this afternoon?
It seems to be a little bit desperate decisions, doesn't it? Trying the SE0 because they know that they are not going to be able to compete with that softer compound here at one of the fastest tracks on the calendar for Toro Razgatioglu and this man, Michael van der Mark. But I know the SE0 around here on the edge of the tyre, it just doesn't hook up out of these long corners like here that you see in turn 11 and 12. Watch out for a lot of movement on the back of Toprak's BMW and Michael if you can hit the front. But the weather, we've been so lucky, haven't we, Greg? In the original forecast on Wednesday, Thursday, it said the rain was coming in the afternoon, but it's been the absolute opposite. We had a really wet morning this morning, but the wind and the sunshine has dried this track out beautifully.
Have a look at my phone, James. What do you make of this? The tyres then, the 2 factory BMWs are on the harder rear. Everyone else on the new Development X. Toprak and Sam Lowe's on the harder front as well, so all sorts of variations here.
SE0s for BMs. This is high risk, but you know, we do have 21 laps to do. It's a long time and a long distance around this Netherlands circuit, one of the longest tracks we have on the calendar on board.
And it makes sense for it to be this tricky of a circuit, this difficult as it comes in. Here we go then. World Superbikes, race 2, lights are on, lights out, we're racing. Good start from top row, Razgalioli, okay start from Sam Lowe's, but moving straight towards us comes Evio Bautista. He's going to have the inside line down to turn 1. Top Rack's a bit unsteady on the brakes. Bulliger still making it on the inside line. He's down a couple of places. Bautista on the inside line and Top Rack into turn 3 has got the lead of the race. Top Rack down to second. Brilliant start once again from Andrea Locatelli. Van der Mark going on the inside there as well. Gardner's on the opposite side, so as they switch back from the right at 1, 2, 3 to the left at 4 into the 3rd place, and now 4th goes Gardner. Van der Mark down to 5th. Where's Bulliger then got to? Still in 11th position. Iannone's up to 5th as well. Alex Lowe's up to 12th, and Dominic Agata drops down into 15th place. Iannone on the inside of Van der Mark as well, coming through Rushkin Hook, and he's through. Iannone back up into 5th position, and a brilliant dive bomb on the inside. And a long lap penalty already on the board, as we said, for irresponsible riding the Superpole race for the 97 of Javier Vierge. Caused that accident at the start of the race, so that is why he has been given a long lap penalty. Bautista leads, Razgalioli in 2nd, Gardner's 3rd, Locatelli 4th, Iannone 5th. Van der Mark in 6th, Sam Lowe's 7th, Bassini 8th, Sam Lowe's 6th, he's on the inside of Van der Mark now coming through. Sam Lowe's going to go around the outside, Iannone's done it as well. Van der Mark down 2 places. Can anybody else from Axel Bassini have a go? No. Bulliger's looking back as well on the inside line, seeing if he can get ahead of Tower McKenzie. Still Toprak, he's now having to go defensive from a fast charging Australian of Romy Gardner, who's pulling to the inside line down towards turn 1. Toprak's down 3 places at the inside. Look in the rear brake coming is Andrea Locatelli. He's locked the rear brake. He hasn't this time. It's plowed into the side of Toprak, but up into second is the Australian Remy Gardner. Well, this is turning into a bit of a barnstorm already. So many different tyre compounds in play, as Greg was telling us on the formation lap. Up the inside of Toprak now goes Andrea Locatelli, who had a storming race 1 yesterday. Super Pole race earlier was great. Race 2 was going to be interesting, and it is going to be fascinating. Dry track, super best conditions, better tyres, and it's underway now. Toprak back through Locatelli for 3rd position, coming through Rushkenhook. So that was a small change around there. Bautista leads, Gardner up 5 places, Iannoni's up 6 places at the start, down 10 for Scott Redding and Yanni Montella, down into 18th position. Toprak, by the way, SC2 front tyre, but the softest, the SCO, is on the rear tyre, so all that rear grip is having to really save it, not wanting to do anything with it. Vierge's completed his long lap penalty as we ride with Toprak Razgalioli, with Andrea Locatelli just behind him as they come through down into the last sector before the control line as well. Locatelli has got the SCX development tyre. That's a step softer than Toprak. It goes wide coming into turn 14 and 15, and round the outside goes Locatelli into the chicane and up into 3rd position. Well, it's only the opening lap and my voice is already going. We've got so many others to do today as well. Formula 1, Moto 3, Moto GP, and all the action as well from the IndyCar and NASCAR scenes. Moto 2 is going to be with the world feed, by the way. That's going to be live on JBMotorsports 2. And around about half an hour, you can join the warm-up session as well. Unbelievable scenes right now. So, more problems. Was that Bulliger on the inside of Iannoni? Yes, it was. Up into 8th position as Bassini has passed Van der Mark as well. So Iannoni down to 9th position as they continue on. We ride with Nicolo Bulliger, the Ducati, on the Italian motorcycle, the wonderful Panigale V4R. Just keeping it through. Sunshine out in the last sectors as well. Van der Mark has got 0.4 of a second to Bulliger at the moment. It's sort of 3 little gaps going as things stand. My eyes on Toprak, who's now dropped into, as we say, 4th place, but Sattler's on the back of him as well. And not that much of a gap between them. What is it? 0.292 of a second. Bulliger has closed 0.2 of Van der Mark in this sector alone. Now, both BMWs, as James Tozen said, are on the SCO rear tyres. So it's going to be really difficult to see how it's going to work. Bulliger's going through. Bulliger's fast charging on the inside of Van der Mark at the chicane. And Bulliger moves up into 7th position as they come on to start lap 4 of 21. Gardner's closing on Bautista as well. How nice is it? Bautista could win a race. We've got Bulliger who's got the fastest lap, 134.398. But he's dropping back. But Bautista, who's had a difficult couple of years, let's say, he's been on the podium still, he's been winning races, but Toprak probably dominated last year, and the former world champion is sort of looking, going, well, what do I do here? Now we're seeing what it's going to be like. Bautista, once he's got his head down, he's going to go strong, but Remy Gardner is right there with him as they come through Rushkenhook once more. Locatelli holding off from Toprak Razgalioli. They'll just hold that back for a time. We will have a lot of slipstreaming in this race. It's a tyre race. So this is more entertaining. Let's have a look then, down to the braking zone. Into the 3rd sector. Bautista, 0.146 difference between him and Gardner. Gardner's faster by 0.3 on that last lap time. So Gardner has the pace. Bautista has track knowledge. It's anybody's game. Bautista sliding the rear tyre coming out of turn 14. Really trying to find the best angles out here. Gardner's all over him. He's going to have a go into the chicane. Bautista tries to force him long. Gardner's going low on the brakes. Can't do anything. Bautista's latest. I thought Locatelli was going to go straight on there. He was super aggressive. He's caught right back up to Gardner and Bautista now. Super commitment from Locatelli in that chicane. He gained about 0.4 of a second. Stunner! That's how much he was just carrying way too much speed through the chicane, but somehow it's almost like he straight-lined it. A perfect execution there from Locatelli. Gardner's right at the back of Bautista as they come through into turn 4. Yeah, Gardner's looking for a move. And, well, Bautista, he is blocking every single opportunity, every single angle you can think of. He's got that move stuck. Gardner in second position, Bautista 135.244. Yeah, so not bad so far. It's going to be an interesting couple of races. 17 laps to go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 motorcycles, all the way down to Buliga. Buliga's even involved in this now. How is Buliga caught up?
He's heading the second group with the charging Iannone behind him. Petrucci from a lowly grid spot is 10th. Alex Lowe's 11th. Lequona 12th. Agata, Gerloff, Tara McKenzie completing the points positions in the dry weather here this afternoon. And Gardner right up behind Bautista. And you saw Locatelli and Buliga kicking the back end of their bikes out. Gardner is attacking Bautista for the lead now. He's going to be up alongside Shorley as we get down into the chicane. Sam Lowe's attacking Toprak at the same time, but it's as you were, status quo.
You have a big squirt of the gas from that final left-hand until the chicane. I don't think the R1, compared to that Ducati in front of him, has just got that grunt in between those two corners to have a real go at Bautista safely, should I say, at this stage of the race, into that final corner. Sam Lowe's now under real pressure from the championship leader.
And Michael van der Mark has lost a place. He's down to 9th. Andrea Iannone's gone through. He's taken the BMW, so Iannone now on the go, 11 Ducati. And van der Mark's lost, in fact, 3 more positions. What's happened to van der Mark?
Where is he? He's down to 12th position. So I'm a bit worried. He hasn't said, there's nothing on our timing monitors to indicate that he's had any sort of problems. Yanni Montella gets ahead of Sofagulu, and Toprak under pressure from Buliga. Buliga's through on Sam Lowe's. Buliga through into 5th position. Coming through Rushkenhook. And there goes insider from Locatelli. Gardner left the door open at turn 8. And through Locatelli will go. The 2 Yamahas doing battle side by side. Gardner's on the outside coming through turn 7. Locatelli has shut the door on him. And now here comes Toprak to play. And this is giving Bautista a switchback on the inside. Stunning move from Remy Gardner. Sends it up the inside line and really said to Locatelli, I'm here to fight, I'm here to play. Don't care if you're on a team bike. I am still going to be attack. And Toprak now having to defend from Buliga. So the championship protagonists are doing battle once more as they go on the inside. Buliga's passing Toprak and he's through the chicane. The gap that was down to 27 points now starts increasing. Well, this is a fantastic battle. Topraks were riding with him now on the BMW M1000RR. Now we're back on board with the Ducati Panigale V4R. Nicola Buliga back with Toprak. You can hear the differences in the engine tune. Off-board angle now into turn 4. Bautista still leads, runs it in a bit too deep, catches the second apex. Let's take a replay. And this is Locatelli passing Gardner into turn 1. And that's why he's now back up into second position while we were watching Buliga and Toprak. So, Locatelli up into P2. Gardner takes P3 as well. Buliga 4th, Toprak 5th. Sam Lowe's in 6th position. Bassini in 7th, Iannone 8th, Petrucci 9th, Alex Lowe's has your top 10, but there are 2 groups in this race, 2 different sets. Batty got the top 7, then Bassini down have that running order. In fact, would you even include Sam Lowe's? Yes, you would, and you would also include Bassini. So it's actually from Iannone back. That's the gap, 3.6 seconds. Bassini is then leading a gap all the way down to Vieje. Then Montella's leading a gap down to Scott Redding. Then Rabat, O'Halloran and Zahadi are sort of trailing at the back. In fact, Zahadi is so far back. He's only now just entering that 3rd sector, while half the field is halfway through turn number 1 as they come across the line with 14 laps to go here of the TT Assen, the Dutch World Superbike Race 2. 100 years of this famous circuit, not this iteration of it, but 100 years of the TT Assen. And what a celebration it's getting. World Superbikes, MotoGP and British Superbikes all coming here this season to celebrate a historic anniversary. Axel Bassini, fantastic on the back of Toprak Razgalio. Toprak down in 6th place. Sam Lowe's up into 5th. Top Rank with that SEO. Rear tyre is not working. Bulliger is working though. Through on the inside line of Remy Gardner. Takes third position with a sweet move on the inside line. And now Bautista is having to find out with Bulliger. The gap is now, well, Bulliger's 0.3 of a second faster than Bautista. So the two teammates are going to have a little bit of a ding-dong as they come through. We've got Locatelli, who's been fast all weekend, right in the mix of it on that Yamaha YZF R1. Saw the R7s in contention earlier on with the Women's World Circuit Racing. Two different winners from the opening racing, but one winner overall on the road. Through we go again. Top Rank really now under pressure from Axel Bassini, and he's going to go through. Bassini's going to touch the curb a little bit down to the braking zone. Lead change! Locatelli leads! He's dive bombed Bautista in the chicane! I just spotted it! And now they bang, 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 bang together! Four side by side in the braking zone for turn one. Locatelli leads. Bautista is now down to third with Nicolo Bulliger taking second position away. And Remy Gardner's down into fourth place. Bulliger could lead this race before we even get to half distance. It's lap 9 of 21. 8 have been completed. This is an amazing charge and a wrong tyre choice from Top Rank. You can't do that in these type of races. Let's take a look at it once more. Super late into the chicane. Locatelli dive bombs. I don't even think Bautista knew he was there. Compromised him all the way through the chicane, and it allowed Bulliger to get a run on him in towards turn number 1. Bulliger's going for the lead of the race down at Rushkenhoek. Nothing there. They're so desperately trying to close in with each other. It's fantastic. Top Rank's still in this fight, but he has now dropped 1.3 seconds behind the leading group. Here comes Bulliger on the inside line. He's caught Locatelli's by surprise. Locatelli's trying to get the undercut and retakes the lead of the race doing so. You're not going to fool Locatelli by that one as well. Bulliger's going to have to try something else. And Bautista sliding out that rear of the bike. Coming through 13 to 14. Now down towards the chicane once more. Anyone going to fancy an overtake? We're watching the leading group. It no longer includes Top Rank Rasgalioli. The top 5 are in battle. We are watching now. Over the line, Locatelli leads. Bulliger second, Bautista's third, Gardner fourth, Lowe's fifth. Top Rank closing back in slowly with Axel Bassini now down in 7th position. Gardner having a look at Bautista now for third as they come into turn 3. An amazing race. Tito Rabat in 20th. Just hogging that line at 3 on the inside, curving it nicely, pulling that throttle back. Fantastic racing. What a battle, what a challenge. I'm really enjoying this race. I hope you are at home watching and tuning in. There is something special brewing here in Superbikes for the first time this year. Yamaha, Ducati, BMW, Bitmotor, all in the fight. I just wish Honda were. And then we'd have every manufacturer in the Superbikes battling together. But this is the top 7, and they're all in it. Yamaha leads from Ducati, Yamaha, Ducati, BMW, Bitmotor. The top 7 in the lead group. Let's check in with TNT while the field just down a bit for a few laps.
Ducati, despite having had its fuel flow rate reduced, is going to punch up the power, but watch Alvaro Bautista. He's even closer to Bulliger than Bulliger is to Locatelli. Alvaro has really thrown away a lot of points this weekend after being so quick in practice on Friday. Gardner is definitely not out of this yet either. What a wonderful motorcycle race.
Nicolo Bulliger's rear tyre was nearly in Groningen through turn 12. Absolutely sideways it was, and Locatelli with 11 laps to go, and in number 11 is breathing right down his neck, and the pace that he's got is still allowing Remy Gardner and Sam Lowe's just to stay with them. Top Rank, is he losing enough time or too much time at this stage to not be able to claw his way back, or is that 0 going to kick in at some point soon for him?
And just to put that into perspective, what James is saying, Groningen is the nearest city. It's about a half-hour drive up the motorway from here. Party town, isn't it? It's a big student city, a massive student presence there in Groningen.
Right,
and
oh,
look at that, Bulliger through. This is definitely right up my street. Bulliger takes the lead again on lap 11. We're only halfway through this race. Bring on the rest.
Oh, absolutely. Bring on the rest as well. Buliga started 10th, now leads, says Plug as well. Serge is saying amazing. Everyone loving Top Rack and giving thumbs up as well in the chat. Buliga leads, he's already pulled out. Well, actually, we can't tell at the moment because it's all saying lead on our monitors. They haven't gone through a mini sector just yet. They're about to come through sector 3 shortly. Locatelli now having to defend from Bautista at 9 places. Nico Buliga started in 10th. He now leads. Championship leader will be absolutely chomping at the bit as the cloud cover now starts to come over the last sector of this circuit. There shouldn't be any rain. If there is, we will have to see the red flags. We don't have a bike-to-bike flag change. We can change bikes, but so you can change tyres, but normally we see a red flag come out for this type of procedure when it starts to rain. Buliga leads. Oh, and going wide was Bautista. That's let Gardner right back on the back of him coming through. And that's Top Rack down to 7th. Axel Bassini on the bit motor has got through. And now Bautista's having to battle Gardner. Gardner's back on the inside line to turn 4 and takes 3rd position away. So Bautista can't find anything there, I'm afraid. Losing a lot more points after leading the race early on. Through Ruskenhoek. Through onto the brakes. Closing it down just a little bit more. You can see where the chicane is for the car races. Can't handle the quick change as a motorcycle can. This is definitely more of a bike circuit than a racing circuit. That's why when everyone said, oh, let's bring Formula 1 here, everyone went, no. Zandvoort is the car circuit. Assen is the bike circuit. And that's what we all love about it. This place is motorcycles. But it does host some car racings, we know. DTM, W Series were here for a time as well, plus many other. Bautista sliding that rear, super shot there. Looking down. 10 to go. Bautista can't get the inside line through. Get the chicane. Top Rack now 4.77, 4.684 now. It's changed as I was saying it, behind Buliga and dropping back. Bassini has already got half a second to him after overtaking on that last lap time. That's how shocking that tyre choice was. Poor form there. BMW should not put in this SCO tyre.
Going sideways is not necessarily the quickest way forwards.
to refresh your pacemaker after
Really,
that one.
really,
Oh,
going sideways is the best one.
Moment, wasn't it? Look at Bautista now, right up behind Gardner as we come down into the Ruskenhoek. This is mightily quick at 170 miles an hour, and he's gone through.
Bautista retakes it at Ruskenhoek then. So that was more like it, on the inside line and taking the position. Well, we like to see it, don't we? And now we know why.
Remy Gardner, but they're going to be the next victim of Alvaro Bautista's frustration of seeing his teammate go into the distance. Remy, be very careful, because he's already got 2 victims on his checklist so far this season.
He certainly has. One of them being Scott Redding in race 1 in Portugal 2 weeks ago, and then of course Sam Lowes, who's just behind them there. What a great weekend for Sam Lowes, certainly one of, if not the rider of the weekend here in the Superbike class, but taking nothing away from Buliga. Of course, Bautista was sliding that rear Pirelli. Locatelli still keeping up with Buliga. This ain't over yet. So you've got 2 Yamahas attacking 2 Ducatis. There they go. Buliga, there's Locker, there's Bautista. Gardner, behind Gardner is Sam Lowes. Bassani now 1 second behind Sam Lowes.
And Van der Mark has dropped because of the tyres on. He's not crashed out of the race, just the tyre compounds.
His teammate Van der Mark has hit trouble. They're all together at the chicane in the background. Michael van der Mark has been shown as in 16th position. This has not been the weekend he wanted. Had a top 5 in the Superpole race earlier on, but it's going to be, what, 13 Assen races now, would you believe, for van der Mark with no podium, having had 7 podiums here, including his first 2 in 2015. So it's not a great time, is it?
It's not been a happy hunting ground for him for a few years now, has it? And it can just barrel roll on that, you know. If you have a bad result or a really bad injury that he had sustained on that massive high side at the last chicane a couple of years ago, they can stick with you. And it's difficult to shake that off and get the confidence, because on a track that is so fast, if you've got a little bit lack of confidence inside you, it can really, really punish you. I must say as well, a big shout out for Ryan Vickers in the Superpole race. He just missed out being on the first 3 rows when he finished in 10th. He slipped down to 19th in this one, just in front of for Scott Redding, and just another British shout out. Mackenzie, number 95, is in 15th currently, just ahead of Yari Montella.
Yes, Ryan Vickers, we didn't see it actually on the TV pictures, but he did both of the BMotors on the run to the line in the Superpole race. He passed Lowe's and Bassani, so getting better all the time. And of course, he knows this track well because of his BSB days. Well, how about this, JT? This is what? Lap 14, so pretty much 2/3 distance at the end of this lap. Exactly, in fact, 2/3 distance at the end of the lap. And here he is, number 1. I don't think we're going to be seeing him running number 1 again, are we? If he wins more titles, which I'm sure he will. He does not like running number 1. He's very superstitious, firmly believing that it brings him bad luck. Buliga sets the fastest lap on a 1:34.1. Toprak, 5.5 seconds behind with 7 laps still to go.
I'll tell you what, Sean Muir is going to have to just brush up on his diplomacy to get this back in line, isn't it? I'm sure Toprak Razgatlioglu is going to be absolutely fuming at BMW for the performance, because, you know, he doesn't hold his punches back when it comes to blaming the machinery underneath him when he doesn't get a result, because he has the confidence that he can win every race here in World Superbikes, and if he doesn't, it's not down to him. And I tell you what, it's a difficult argument to have with him, isn't it?
Here's Taz McKenzie, Garrett Kurloff, who we've not seen much of at all, have we, this weekend, the American. They are in 14th and 15th places. That's Petrucci going through the shot there. He's 8th ahead of Lecuona and Alex Lowe's. There's his teammate Montella. Now, Yari, as you'll see, I'm sure, on the graphics very shortly, has dropped a long way down. See the chatter there on the front end of that Barney Spark Ducati. He was off at the first corner. And here's Van der Mark. There must be some sort of technical problem or a tyre issue. I don't know what it is with Van der Mark's BMW, because he's now in 17th place. He's lapping in the 1:35.7s. So I don't know, actually, his last lap was all right, so he must have just made a mistake maybe on the previous lap, but he doesn't look very comfortable. He's lapping a couple of tenths slower than his teammate Toprak, so was he just shoved wide, I wonder, somewhere? But look how this gap has opened up, James, over the last 2 or 3 laps. Buliga leading Locatelli. This has been an unbelievable lap. He's gone from 9 tenths ahead to 1.5. I don't know whether Locker's made a mistake somewhere, but he's lost 6/10 of a second on 1 lap there.
Yeah, this lad is getting more and more impressive as the days go by, as the races go by, and as the rounds go by. We are in round 3 currently. The next one's in Cremona, and he's going home, isn't he, to Italy? And with that kind of confidence, we know Daniel Petrucci, with the Italian support that he had there, did the triple, the first ever triple from Daniel Petrucci there last year. But you've got to say, Nicola Buliga, it's advantage, isn't it, before he goes home?
Well, the last time we had 3 different winners on a single race weekend was here at Assen, would you believe, last year, because Toprak went on that amazing run of 13 successive wins after that. But I don't think we're going to need to look at the stats. But, oh, Gardner clipped the grass on the inside. That's at about 150 miles an hour there. I do not know what that would feel like. But it doesn't look like we are going to get 3 different winners at the end, does it, with Buliga leading this race. Oh, Gardner's pushing so hard to try and catch Bautista. That must have been scary. He actually clipped the grass on the inside.
Yeah, he's got to be one of the names on BMW's list if Toprak does go to MotoGP, because obviously Remy Gardner, I think, has done a great job moving from Moto2. The consistency that he's had, it's not an easy job last year. The R1 wasn't very quick at all, but they seem to have really upped their game, does Yamaha, this season. It's a big improvement for Andrea Locatelli and for Remy Gardner.
The latest quotes online from Kenan Sofoglu in the press, incidentally, this afternoon. He's saying it could be another month or so before there is some news regarding Toprak's future as we continue to watch Gardner. Kenan Sofoglu unable to confirm or deny Honda plans with those talks, perhaps those thoughts that he's going to Honda here next year and then moving on to MotoGP with them in 2027. But Kenan has, says he met with, in inverted commas, one company here yesterday, and that Toprak is very excited about the future, so time will tell. But with all this MotoGP talk, Toprak does not want to be finishing races with problems in 7th place. He wants to be up at the front as he was in the mixed conditions on a drying track in the Superpole race here earlier today. Drama in the background, that's Petrucci and Lecuona. Here we go. Lecuona's in front of Danilo, then it's Alex Lowe's, and Andrea Iannone now is at the front of this pack not so long ago. He's fallen back, so this is 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th.
Let's not panic just yet for Toprak, though, because he was 9th last year, if you remember, here at the same track. Because so obviously Toprak and the BMW, the combination of both, doesn't enable him to be competitive at this one. But Cremona, Most, you know, the rest of them coming up. Donington Park is absolutely electric. So we will look forward to seeing what the results are next. But as you say, Lecuona and Alex Lowe's there, Petrucci and Iannone putting them under pressure.
Iannone's not had a great start to the season, has he, really, with the exception of Australia. He's won one World Superbike race so far, if you remember, and that was Motorland Aragon in Spain, northeastern Spain, last year. We'll be going there later this season. Now, what can he do about Petrucci? Petrucci coming from a lowly grid spot because of his struggles in the Superpole race earlier on today. Both MotoGP exponents, both MotoGP Grand Prix winners, and Alex Lowe's now having a real go at another former MotoGP rider, Lecuona. Lowe's up the inside, bit of a moment, but he's through. Great move, 8th place.
Yeah, brilliant. Go on, Alex. Oh, I think maybe just exceeding track limits there, but you have to be careful with that. And it's Lico Lecuona. Is he going to get the cut back into turn 1 on the inside? No, Alex Lowe's has that covered.
Lecuona was on the podium here for the first of only 2 times so far in his career. Remember, it was 3 years ago when the Jonathan Rea Toprak Razgatlioglu collision happened on the exit of turn 1. His second podium came last year at Cremona. Can he get the cut back now by flicking to his left-hand side? He can indeed.
Yeah, brilliant. Turn 5, lucky number 7 on the front of the Honda. Just looking at the Honda, though, they're doing okay, aren't they, Greg? But they are still a long way from not just the podium, but the lead of the race. You know, finishing 5th and 6th, it doesn't look too bad on paper. But when you look at the gap between them and the lead, it's still a bridge to cross, isn't it?
Yeah, and not to discredit them at all, but their podiums so far have been a little bit lucky, haven't they? Lecuona had the Rea Toprak collision here last year. Cremona was a good one, to be fair, last year. Vieja had one, if you remember, a couple of years ago in Indonesia, but just 3 podiums then for the factory Honda team. They are getting better, though, since they've gone back this year to the Olin suspension, that's for sure.
I've got a question for you, Greg.
Oh, go on.
Can Toprak Razgatlioglu win the World Superbike Championship on a Fireblade Honda?
I think he could win the championship at the moment on any bike, yes. What do you think?
What, even the Bimota, Kawasaki, anything?
Yeah.
Possibly, yes. I mean, because look at the situation.
Possibly, yes.
Yes, I'm going to say yes. Get rid of the possibly. Because remember what people thought when he went to Yamaha, and even more so when he went to BMW. Would you ever have imagined he was going to win on a BMW? But he did.
Yes, I don't think it's any bigger task, is it, to ask of him when he did go from Yamaha to BMW. If we are thinking about this man being on the bike that's behind him currently, this one here, the Fireblade, can Toprak be the first person to win World Superbikes on 4 different manufacturers? When will that ever be repeated?
Yeah, well, only 3 riders. 3, yeah. Only, well, he might do that as well in the future.
Yes, he could do that.
Yeah,
you said them all.
Or even 5. There's even talk of him talking to QJ Motor as well, as they come in with a new project in coming years.
That'd be a task.
That would be a task. That would be quite something. I've got a question for you as well. As Toprak said to me on Saturday in the feature we ran, remember he said, OK, drop Ducati down, drop us down with the fuel flow, but Ducati should have gone down 2 levels and maybe us 1 level. Do you subscribe to that?
Well, it's every 2 rounds, isn't it? So after Cremona, it will be judged again. And if it looks like Nicola Bulliger and Bautista have got too much of an advantage, which it looks like again here at Assen, then they might have another ½ a kilo of fuel less to run after Cremona, which is what is on the calendar. It's Most, isn't it? So we'll see. Favourite track for Toprak, and if they do have 1 kilogram left at Most, that could even things up.
Yeah, Toprak had another great trouble there last season. James, this isn't over yet. Toprak is in big trouble. He's now lapping 1 second slower than all these guys, and the gap is falling at a rapid rate. He's lost a second already on this lap, and we've not even got through the last sector yet.
Look at Iannone trying to go around the outside as well on Petrucci. It's still coming through. It's not over just yet as they come into it. Oh, no, not another one! It's another issue! I don't believe it! The championship changes again! Out of the race goes Nicola Bulliger! The second race running! Technical problems hit him! And when he had such a commanding lead, out of the race, the Ducati's blown up, and now this is hurting more and more. After not scoring in the Superpole, it was only half points, and he's not scored here. We have the big bag of points, and now the championship lead will reduce, but it'll be 3 different winners. What has happened? A technical problems, and he's out of the race. I do not believe it. Literally comes over, and all of a sudden he's just stopping on the side of the circuit. That is ridiculous. Bautista were running second, but he's 1.9 back. Andrea Locatelli so far is leading this race, going for his first ever win. He's had 19 podiums, one this year, well, two this year, 20 podiums. But this could be his first ever win because it will be the last lap next time by. Amazing, amazing. Over the line. The championship has changed dramatically. P6 to Lowe's is 6 tenths now. Can Toprak hold off to Alex Lowe's, Ike Lucanoa, Andrea Iannone and Danilo Petrucci and Dominic Agata? Can he hold them off for one more lap to get a 6th place in a race where he and BMW made the wrong tyre choices? And he can't! Toprak has let Alex Lowe's go through! Lowe's has passed him, Toprak can't fight back! The championship has changed dramatically! The gap 20 points, the same as it was when he came in. Locatelli will now move within 29 of Bulega. And Bulega at the side of the circuit with his visor down, his helmet still on, arms folded, head resting. Emotions, I think he's experiencing all of the negative ones at one time. Heartbreak for Bulega. Joy for Locatelli, who's had a storming weekend here in Assen. For the first time this year, someone other than Bulega on Toprak will win. It's 3 different winners from 3 very different races, and for the first time, Andrea Locatelli wins a World Superbike race, and Yamaha win for the first time in 2025. Bautista is second. Gardner finishes in third. 2 Yamahas on the podium will make them very, very delighted. Sam Lowe's in fourth, Bassini fifth, Alex Lowe sixth, Lucanoa seventh, and Toprak only finishes in 8th. Iannone 9th. Agata gets 10th. Petrucci, Vierge, Montella, Mackenzie and Sofagulu 15th. Gerloff, Van der Mark, Vickers, Redding, Rabat and O'Halloran. Wow! Yamaha, they were on for a 2nd and 4th. They get a 1st and 3rd. Yamaha, strong this weekend, get a result they deserve. After so much hard work, they win, and Andrea Locatelli wins for the first time in Superbikes. How much more unpredictable do you want to get in 2025? 2 DNFs in 2 of the 3 races here in Assen. Wow. And he's walking back in now as well, and that is a... I don't even know what to say. I really don't. That is heartbreak you wouldn't believe. Has passed down quickly to the world feed.
53 starts in which he had not been able to win, but at number 154, Andrea Locatelli has got it across the line. And this is the moment in which he came through. Nicolo Bulega with dejection and disappointment, but elation in equal measure for Yamaha and for Andrea Locatelli, and I think we can go down to Liam for some reaction.
Yeah, down here with team principal Pata Yamaha, and big smiles, big cheers all round for Andrea Locatelli for the team. It's been your first win since 23. It's been Andrea Locatelli's first win. Just tell us a reaction, how you're feeling right now.
Oh, overwhelmed. The start of the season at Phillip Island was tough, but he performed really well. It's kind of best of the rest against the Ducatis, and Portimao was an incredibly strong weekend yesterday. 2nd on merit and a really strong performance, and he deserves to win a race. And I just think it's one of those things that sometimes you just said it, that, you know, do you think it's never going to come? But I think for him, okay, we got lucky in that particular race. You've got to be in it to win it. It is a mechanical sport. Bulega was the dominant rider of the weekend, but he had everybody else covered, and that's that in itself deserves a win. So congratulations to him, to my team. They've all done a
very well done. Very well done, Paul.
Yeah, Paul Denning obviously caught by the emotions of the moment as well. Fantastic effort for Andrea Locatelli. Quite rightly says you've got to be there to pick up the pieces. I had to beat Bautista head-to-head in order to claim that race win, and that's no mean feat, particularly here in Assen.
And here at Assen, we've seen so many riders in the past that have claimed their first race victories at this circuit in Superbikes or Grand Prix classes, and for Locatelli, this has been a long path to this moment as well. You think about the rider that came here to dominate the Super Sport class for Yamaha, and he had been a Moto3 rider, a decent Moto3 career, good Moto2 career, and then he got the opportunity to come to Super Sport, showed the kind of rider he could be, and then he moved to Yamaha in the Superbike class. He's been there to be their number 2 rider effectively, with Razgat Dioglu leading the way, challenging for championships, winning championships, and then for Jonathan Rea having been signed last year, Locke was there to be that dependable number 2 rider. Rea's out injured. Locke has gone way beyond what anyone would have expected from him. He's stepped up. The super concession upgrades for Yamaha have also played a big part in this, and Yamaha are race winners again in more or less BK.
And they've got Remy Gardner on the podium as well, of course. So 2 Yamahas in the top 3 positions. Super ride from Remy Gardner. We didn't get to talk too much about it, but he stuck right in there, scrapping with Alvaro Bautista. It could have even been a 1-2, as it turns out. Bautista just holding sway in that particular scrap, but Gardner gets his reward here in Assen once again on the final day of the weekend, the final race of the weekend, just as he did a year ago.
Yeah, and for Remy, that's an important moment as well, because he's still fighting for his future as well. Both of these riders with their contracts up for renewal, and you can be sure that Andrea Locatelli's manager is going to be on the phone to Nico Canepa and Andrea Dossley as soon as possible, just to be able to try and get something lined up for that. But the important thing for Locke and for Remy as well on the podium is they know that the bike is capable of those results as well.
You said it during the race, Steve. Locatelli has been coming in after these podiums and not saying, yeah, great, we're on the podium, I'm satisfied with that. Each time he has said, yeah, great, it's a podium, pleased to get it, but I want that win. And of course you do. 153 races without a win. Number 154, you get your first victory. 20 previous podiums already on the board. What was it? 5 of them were second places. He's finally got the monkey off his back.
Yeah, it's so important for him and for his crew and for Yamaha in general to be able to see something like that. You think about all the times in the last 12 months where we've heard about the challenges that Yamaha face. Well, now they've been able to prove that they can still win a race. And like PD said down there with Liam, Bulik has been the rider to beat this weekend. He's had the pace, he's had the speed, but he doesn't have the points. He's only got 25 for the weekend, and that's the important thing as well, because you've got to be able to finish it. And like Paul said, it's a mechanical sport. Things can go wrong. Locke has had it where things have gone wrong for him in the past as well. And now he gets that bit of a rub of the green. He's now only 29 points behind the championship leader. It does just go to show that with big point swings, with mechanical retirements like that, a lot can change in a very short space of time. And with Toprak struggling as well. Toprak ends up finishing 8th in this race, so bit of a disastrous weekend in a lot of ways for Toprak. Obviously the win in the Superpole race kind of papers over some of the cracks, but there's a lot of work for BMW to do now before the next round in Cremona. Sam Lowes is there as the top independent rider. It was 4th position for him here today, only just 0.4 of a second behind Remy Gardner and the podium spots at the checkered flag. He had the pace to match them, but not to pass them. Here's confirmation of your result then. Andrea Locatelli, your race 2 winner, 2.9, almost 3 seconds ahead of Alvaro Bautista. Remy Gardner with 3rd place, his 2nd podium in World SBK. Axel Bassani, best result yet for Bimota, and finishes 4.7 seconds ahead of teammate Alex Lowe. So 5th and 6th for them, for both of them, their best result yet on this package. Iker Lekwona recovering to 7th after his disappointment in the Superpole race. That's good going from him. Toprak Razgatlioglu losing those 2 places on the final lap, coming home nonetheless in 8th place. Another lap, and he might well have been passed by Janone and Egerter as well. Danilo Petrucci, Vierke, Montella, McKenzie and Sofoglu rounding out your scorers, and unfortunately for Michael van der Mark, he had the same problems as Toprak Razgatlioglu, and both of them had the same problems in race 1 yesterday afternoon. Van der Mark finishes his home round down in 17th place. Nicolo Bulliger then, 21 points ahead of Toprak Razgatlioglu. Bulliger's a little bit fortunate actually that Toprak didn't have the pace this weekend to really capitalise in race 2 and to exercise damage limitation in race 1, because there were 7 points left on the table by Toprak yesterday, and plenty of points left on the table in race 1 this afternoon. Yeah, exactly, and for both of those riders, they'll know that there's a little bit where the luck comes into it, and for Razgari Oglu, lots of points left at the table this weekend. But at least for him, he still won the weekend compared to Nicola Bulaga, and he leaves here having closed down that margin to his championship rival. 21 points going to Cremona. It's game on, but BMW will know that there's a lot of work to be done to make sure that they're able to defend that ground.
Alvaro Bautista there in second place will probably feel that this is his best opportunity of the season so far to win a race that goes begging in the end. Didn't have the pace in the final third that we thought he might.
You need the luck for you, don't you, in this game of motorcycle racing? But here he comes, the two-time world champion, Alvaro. It's been a tricky weekend for you. I bet you're glad to see the end of this Assen weekend. It's been really busy for you.
Yeah, for sure. Yesterday was very complicated, no? Today also in the morning, you know, the conditions were very difficult, but now the wind was too strong and I felt very difficult to ride the bike, no? Also, we changed a little bit the setup because, you know, today was colder and we tried to have the same feeling as yesterday, but it was difficult, no? I did good start, but I didn't feel like a good confidence on the bike during all the race, so I tried to do my best, try to take home some points. At the end, with the rear tire, I was at the end. It finished, no more rear tire, but I think it's due to the setup, to the condition, no. Yeah, I'm happy because we end the weekend, but the feeling in race 2 has been a bit strange.
Well, I'll tell you why the rear tyre finished. It was turn 2, mainly. Wonderful stuff. Great ride.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, all the best for Corona.
Thank you, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I'm just rushing that along because I want plenty of time with this man here for his very first World Superbike victory. Andrea Locatelli just gets his drink here. I'm not surprised he needs a drink after that one. Congratulations, complimenti. Welcome to the Winners Club.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, an amazing. I cannot what I can say, but just an amazing work and all weekend strong. We was there for sure. We was fighting until the end, and yeah, really happy. Okay, it's a victory now, so this is the race. Everything happened is a race, and we win a race. So. I want to say, but it's an amazing day, beautiful work from the guys, and yeah, incredible day only.
Your family, your friends, they're all here, your team. I know how much they put into this, and it's waited a long time since the domination of Supersports 5 years ago. You've waited a long time for this. How does it feel?
Yeah, honestly, I mean, I always forget the past, and I was looking always on future because the time don't come back. So we just can looking forward, and it's a dream, but it's a work, it's a sacrifice that we do every day. I'm working quite hard on the bike, on myself, on my physical. So yeah, I mean, everything is perfect. When you win, I will say everything is perfect. And I feel like this, so keep pushing on this way and try to do more for sure.
Your first podium was here, and your first win was here. This place is obviously very special for Andrea Locatelli. Congratulations, my friend. And you go home to Italy next, so that must be amazing.
I can't wait to go home now. Yeah, I need it. I need to see my family.
Congratulations, Locker.
Thank you.
Back to Greg and Shaky.
A more popular winner we could not wish for, could we, in motorsport in general? What was that thing that James was pointing to then, Shaky, on the headstock of Locatelli's bike?
Well, it's on the top of the fork leg. I don't know if we're going to get to see it here, but basically on the top of the fork, it looks like Locatelli has like a remote adjuster so that he could maybe adjust a little bit of preload on and off the bike. It's really difficult to, you know, we got a real quick glimpse of it earlier on, didn't we? So it's really difficult to see. But if we do get a chance to have another look at it, you'll just see on the left-hand fork leg, on the top of the fork leg, there's like this big sort of nut thing that I guess he could there you go, there it is, look, you see the thing on the top of the fork leg, so it's got a little yellow dash on it at the moment which points it downwards, but he could go he could turn that anti-clockwise to take some preload off, or turn it clockwise to put preload on. In theory, you'd only take it off because there'd be more fuel in the bike at the beginning, so you'd want to take a bit of preload off as the race wears on so that you can get a bit more fuel from the front tyre.
That's clever. So for anyone watching for the first time, can that not be all done on all bikes then? That's something unique to that bike?
Well, I think it's unique to that. I've not seen it on on any other bike. So I was actually quite surprised to see that. And I looked at it, I was like, blimey, they're ahead of the game there.
And what about Nicolo Budiger as well? I can't believe it. How can one man be so unlucky? A dominant win by over 7 seconds yesterday, then a problem in the Super Pole race, and then this happens this afternoon. What, 3 laps from the end? He can't believe it.
Yeah, and he was all set for another victory, wasn't he? You know, he'd done what he needed to do, came through from a long way back on the grid as well. Look, you can see him there twisting the throttle, but it's actually doing nothing. So his right hand's moving the throttle, but something electronical has gone wrong there, because you can hear the engine still running, right? But he's twisting the throttle whilst he's grabbing the handlebars and punching the screen and stuff, but it's just not revving the bike. So purely an electrical problem. You know, as you can see, his frustration there is clear for all. But you know, that's a whole bunch of points that he's given away. Sinks to his knees there. You know, you can't help but feel sorry for the guy, because he's riding absolutely unbelievably. You know, sort of his girlfriend there giving him a bit of a hug, and the crash helmet's still on. Serafino Foti there, team boss, takes him straight into his little box. I dare say that thing's going to be smashed to pieces in a minute, but there's so much at stake here. He's riding so well, but let's take nothing away from, you know, Andrea Locatelli taking his maiden win.
Yeah, ride by wire problem or something, I don't know. It's difficult to know, isn't it? But unbelievable, terrible luck then there for Nicolo Budiger. Just to be sure-shaken, because people might be wondering, that's nothing to do with the fuel flow changes, I guess, for this year.
I wouldn't have said so, no. I mean, you know, there's a new regulator in place to manage the amount of fuel that gets put through the bikes. But, you know, that for me was clear, wasn't it? You know, when you're revving the throttle and the engine's doing absolutely nothing, you know, it's clearly there's an electrical problem, because now, you know, it's not like in the old days when you had carburetors and cables. You know, the cable kind of twisted the carburetor open and that worked. But now with these bikes, you know, they're so electronically controlled now that basically you twist a throttle. There is no cable, no throttle cable. It's just an electrical signal that gets sent to the fuel injection, and that's it. But that clearly wasn't working.
Oh, you can't believe it, can you? And as I said before, then, as you can see, it's the first race weekend with 3 different winners since Assen 2024. That's a lot to do, of course, with the top rack domination of last season. He went on an amazing run, didn't he, after Assen last year? But 3 different winners for 3 different teams and 3 different bikes. Is he on the phone with his parents? I wonder. I suspect he is. Almost 60,000 people have come here to Assen across the weekend, and what a treat they've had. It's not over yet either, because we've still got one more super sport race coming your way, and Bo Benschneider was on the top of the podium yesterday to the delight of the Dutch crowd. With the exception of the struggles for Michael van der Mark, who of course is the favourite here, it could not really have been a better race weekend from a neutral perspective so far. As we look down on from left to right, Gardner's Yamaha, Locatelli's Yamaha, Bautista's Ducati, and Sam Lowe's Ducati, top independent in Parc Ferme as well. Remy Gardner, another new podium finisher for the season. Alvaro Bautista, a weekend that promised and probably should have delivered a lot more, but even so, second place for him, with Toprak down in 8th and Budiger out. But your winner is number 55, has done it. Natalia Rivera there on the right-hand side, the reigning European Women's Champion, has made her debut in the Women's World Championship this year.
If you can present the trophy and the 16 World Championship
16 winners now from Italy in the Superbike World Championship. Gardner celebrates his 3rd place. Marco out there is the mayor of Assen. He always hands out the trophies for the last race of the weekend. Arjun Boss, president of the board, TT Circuit Assen, congratulations indeed. But the 16th winner from Italy, joining Marco Melandri, Max Biaggi, Frankie Keeley, Giancarlo Falapa, big names here, Pirovano, Budiger, of course, Todozzi, Rinaldi, Fabrizio, Lanzi, Petrucci, Lucinari, Lucanelli, Spinelli and Iannone, is Andrea Locatelli. The most popular win in World Superbikes for a very, very long time. And well done also to everybody at Yamaha Motor Europe and Crescent Motorcycles, based down in Verwood, in Dorset, in the south of England. And Paul Denning, who's not been feeling very well this weekend. I bet he is now. And as I said before, Paul's late dad, John, who was such a lovely man. We've just passed the 3-year anniversary since his passing in 2022. He'll be smiling down on them now, because he was very, very close with Andrea Locatelli and indeed Toprak Razgatlioglu, who was his teammate at the time. It's the first Yamaha win since the Superpole race at Manicourt in 2023. They didn't have a win through the whole of last season.
What a weekend we've had here for the World Superbikes. A truly amazing championship and a truly amazing 3 different winners in a row. And now it's champagne time. Well, what are we going to see next? This is going to be a wild season. What will we see at the next round? Round 4 on May the 2nd to May the 4th will be the Italian round at Cremona. I hope you join us there for all the action. Thank you very much for your company. Up next, we've got Moto 3 and then MotoGP on the main channel. Moto 2 with the world feed will be live on JBMotorsports 2, just to let you know. We'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.